Today we're going to measure Jake's flexion and extension, his side bending, and his rotation. So first I've marked his C7 spinous process, and I went from his PSIS over to his S1 spinous process here. So first we're going to line up the tape measure on these two marks. I'm using the centimeter side. You can use either side you want, but make sure you document what measurement you're using. So Jake, if you want to go ahead and reach your hands towards the floor, bending at your hips. So you want to make sure you let the tape measure go. And so you can come back up. And you want to take the measurement from before. So before he was at 51 centimeters, and then after he was at 60. And you take the difference, and that's his flexion. So another way you can do this is you can measure when he bends forward again. You can measure how far his fingers are from the ground. So bring your arms just straight out in front of you. And so this way is a little bit tougher because sometimes people can touch the ground. But you measure from his fingertip right to the ground. And he's about 2 centimeters. So there's going to be different normals for both of those as well. The extension is going to be the same landmarks. You're going to do the same thing with the tape measure, line it up. And then this time he's going to bend backwards towards me, bending at the hips. And this one is going to subtract. And try to not bend your neck so much because we're just working on your extension there. So you can go back up. So that one he's at 51 to start again, and then at 44 at the end. So you would take the difference between those as well to get the measurement for that. Side bending, we'll start with the goni. You're going to use the same landmarks as well for this one. You want the middle of the goni or the fulcrum to be lined up with this dot here. Line up the movable arm with the C7 landmark and the stationary arm perpendicular to the floor. So now, Jake, I want you to bend this arm and try to touch the floor, bending at your hips, far down as you can go. And you just want to try to keep these lines lined up. Alright, you can go back up. So he is at 33 degrees for that. And you would do that for the same side. Same thing for the opposite side. You could also do the same that you did for the flexion when he bends down. Bend down towards me. And reach your hand to the floor as far as you can go. And then you would measure the distance from his fingertips to the floor. And again, there's going to be different numbers for that as well. And this one, he is at 38. Measure the rotation. You want to put the middle of the goni in the middle of his head. And you want to line your stationary arm up with his hip landmarks. So it's kind of an imaginary line since you can't see them very well. And this movable arm is going to be with his acromion process right here. So Jake, if you want to turn your shoulders back as far as you can go. And don't worry about the head rotating. Just you can, it doesn't matter if you rotate your head. You just want to line up right on the acromion there. So Jake is at 41 degrees of rotation, and you would do the same for the other side. You'd line it up, imaginary line right through his hips, goni right on top of his head, movable arm on the acromion process, and you would turn your shoulders this way. And this way, he is at 49 degrees, so a little bit more on that side than the other side.